Incendies, which is French for fires, is an early Denis Villeneuve film. And, Denis Villeneuve, he's French-Canadian, and this is a French language film. It's French and Arabic. And it is a film about a brother and sister whose mother has just died and left a very odd will for them that basically sends them on an investigation back to her home country, which they don't say which Middle Eastern country it is. They're very vague on that, but it's my understanding that the film is heavily inspired by a real story of a woman who was involved in the Lebanese Civil War. And so generally speaking, I don't think the dates all line up from the movie to the real life event, and so it's just like a fictionalized version of it. I think also you find that a lot in movies where they don't want to specifically name which Middle Eastern country it's set in because they want to avoid pissing somebody off. But this is a very dark movie. It deals with a lot of heavy subject matter. It deals with the moral complexities involved in war, particularly in civil war, and the atrocities that happen, and people being forced to do horrible things to survive. And also, just in terms of this being a Denis Villeneuve film who has done such notable movies as Sicario, Arrival, Blade Runner 2049, and the Dune movies, I think a huge part of Denis Villeneuve's love of filmmaking is pairing desolate landscapes with devastating stories like he's some kind of cinematic sommelier. Because this is set in, I think they filmed in Jordan, not Lebanon, but, set in the Middle East. So you have a lot of footage of the rural Levant, the scrubland and the desert areas and stuff like that, while there are horrible actions being taken by factions. And a lot of the film is set in two eras. It flashes back to their mother as she's going through the events of the Civil War, and flashing forward to her children as they are putting together the pieces of the cryptic notes that were left for them in the will. This is not light viewing. This deals with very real and very dark subject matter around war. And the climax of the film is just an absolute gut punch that you should be properly prepared for. I'm not going to spoil what it is, but it's dark. It's a very interesting movie. If you've seen Denis Villeneuve's filmography, he generally tries to tell complex stories with flawed characters like this. Oh, it's a really, really fascinating movie, really hard to get through in a lot of places. It depicts a lot of war crimes. It does not shy away from them. There's a sequence where a bus full of people is shot up and then set on fire. And that's, I think, the smoking wreckage of a bus is actually on the poster for the movie. And that's a really hard scene to get through because it's a flashback. The mother is in the bus as everything's going down. It's not an English language movie. It's French and Arabic. So be prepared to read subtitles. Don't go into it for a fun time. You won't have fun with it. But I think it's a really fascinating look at early Denis Villeneuve. And you really get the feel for where he's going, what he's going to become with his filmography, with his body of work. This was a patron request, and if you take a look down in the description below, there is a link to my Patreon. At the highest tier, you can have me review one movie every 3 months, and this was one of those requests. I actually really tend to like doing these ones because when I see stuff that's out in the theaters, I'm seeing whatever's out in the theaters. So I have to sift through stuff that's generally pretty bland. But when somebody recommends something to me, that means that they saw it and they thought it was interesting enough that they wanted to see somebody else's take on it. And so these are, like I say, you force me to do it. You can pick anything, either a movie or one season of a TV show. If it's a shorter season, 8 to 12 episodes, that would be fine. And I say force, but really it's your money and you would pick something that you really want me to talk about. So I genuinely do enjoy doing these ones. With that being said, I thought Incendies was solid, but hard. Hey, thanks for watching. Your view means a lot. Don't forget to toss me a like and subscribe and ring the bell and drop a comment below telling me what you thought of the video. I stream Mondays and Fridays at 5 p.m. Pacific, so catch me live and join in on the convo. You can find all my socials in the description below, and thank you to all my patrons with a very special shout out to my Whale Shark tier patrons Ms. Milena and Hella Vitrum, and my Anemone Friend tier patrons Piftle Cakes and Geek Filter. Your support means the world. Catch you next time.